The opening game of day 6 saw India taking on Belgium. India opened the scoring early in the second quarter and held out until half-time, but Belgium came out a different team in the second half, converting two chances to take the game 2-1. Game 2 saw Australia taking on New Zealand. In what was a fairly even game on the pitch, the scoreline was very one-sided. New Zealand holding out until the end of the first quarter, but in quarter 2 Australia bagged 2 goals before adding a third in quarter 3, and Blake Govers completing his hat-trick in the final quarter to take the game 5-0. Game 3 saw France taking on Great Britain. Great Britain piled on the pressure, but it was France who absorbed it and counterattacked to break the deadlock just before the half-time whistle. Great Britain continued to pile on the pressure in the second half, with France also creating chances. Great Britain levelled things up from the penalty spot before adding a second just before the end of the match to take it 2-1. Game 4 saw Ireland taking on Argentina. Argentina opened the scoring in quarter 2, adding a second before Ireland were able to get one back. Ireland then piled on the pressure throughout the second half, with Argentina absorbing well and counter-attacking. Neither teams added to the scoreline, Argentina taking the game 2-1. The next game saw Great Britain taking on the USA. Great Britain opened the scoring early, with USA equalising shortly after. Great Britain then, in the second quarter, added 2 more goals before America got one back to make it 3-2 at half-time. Great Britain came out in the second half to finish the game off, putting away 2 more goals in the third quarter to take the game 5-3. The sixth game of the day saw South Africa taking on Spain in the women's competition. Both teams came out strong, but Spain, piling on the pressure, were able to break the deadlock just before the end of the first quarter. Both teams continued to battle throughout the game, but no one was able to convert, so Spain took the game 1-0. The seventh game of the day saw France taking on Japan in the women's competition. With both teams knowing this is their best chance to pick up a win, they really battled it out for the result. It was Japan who were able to break the deadlock at the end of the first quarter, which proved to be the deciding goal, with Japan taking the game 1-0. The final game of the day saw Argentina playing Australia in the women's competition, in what was probably the game of the day. Argentina striking first, opening the scoring in the first quarter, before doubling up a minute later to take a 2-1 lead into half-time. Australia battled back in the third quarter, getting back to 2-2, before Argentina probably thought they'd found the winner with a third goal in the fourth quarter, only for Australia to level things up on the final whistle to make it 3-3.